everybody, and welcome to episode number 3, Learning to be Human. My name is Chris.
I'm Avry.
And together, this is your platform for all things meditation, life, and spirituality. Today we're talking a little bit about the autobiography in 5 chapters. And Avry, that's something that you have been teaching our class for quite a while. Would you like to
I am nothing if not repetitive.
No, but it's a wonderful story and a wonderful perspective to have.
Okay. So the autobiography in 5 chapters, it comes from the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, which is an offshoot of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And if you haven't read the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, I strongly recommend it.
Okay.
Have you read it yet?
I have not, but I've heard much of it. So
probably from me.
But I think I've heard it from some other peeps as well. So
it's a truly wonderful book. I'm going to say, don't read it if you're afraid of dying, but I think you should definitely read it if you're afraid of dying, because I think it can take a lot of the fear out of dying and give you a lot of joy to life itself.
Yes.
If you think about dying and become fearful, that will impact your life and it will infiltrate your life. I think that a much better way to see the idea of dying, not to be afraid of it, but to use it as a way to be joyful about life. Because I'm not dead yet.
Yeah.
That was last week. Last time I had my I'm not dead yet t-shirt no more. But it is true. But I want to read this autobiography in 5 chapters, which is not about dying, even though it's from the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Oh, it must be the living part. I'm thinking.
Okay.
So in the book, I believe it's on page 32 or something like that, before the poem, there's a little introduction, and I'd like to read that because I think it's very important. It says, "How hard it can be to turn our attention within. How easily we allow our old habits and set patterns to dominate us. Even though they bring us suffering, we accept them with almost fatalistic resignation, for we are so used to giving in to them. We may idealize freedom, but when it comes to our habits, we're completely enslaved. Still, reflection can slowly bring us wisdom. We can come to see we are falling again and again into fixed, repetitive patterns and begin to long to get out of them. We may, of course, fall back into them again and again, but slowly we can emerge from them and change. The following poem speaks to us all. It's called Autobiography in 5 chapters. Chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am hopeless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it's there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It's my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. I love that.
Yeah, I love that one too.
What does it say to you, Chris?
This one speaks to the journey of my own growth throughout this practice. So the first chapter, falling into the hole, and it's not your fault. You're unaware of that. So when you are unaware, it really isn't your fault. It's tough, right? So the second one, you see the hole, right, and you fall into it still. But you're still unaware a bit. So now, you've at least been able to see that. You still may have fallen into it, but that's okay. The third one is more about becoming aware, and you fall into that hole and you've seen it, but your eyes are wide open. And now it is your fault. You are aware.
Right.
It's not necessarily like a blaming thing of your fault, but now it's your conscious choice. The third one is getting out, right? No, the fourth one, I'm sorry.
The fourth one is you walk around it.
You walk around it. So now you've built an awareness of all of the problems, or not even problems, but
Habits.
the habits in your life. And now you get to walk around it, and right when you walk around it, you choose another street. So there it goes, almost not necessarily like a repetitive path, but now you come across a street in which it may have all these holes in it again. And I feel like throughout my journey, as I've said before, it's like I've always came back to chapter 3. Where I have awareness of it, and I fall into the hole.
Anyway.
And it's my fault. It's my habit. And getting to chapter 4 is always really fun, because I get to chapter 4 and I get to chapter 5, and then I go, oh wait, I'm at chapter 3 again. Hold on, wait, what?
Or 2.
Or 2.
Because we don't see what
Exactly.
we're doing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I really do find, throughout this journey, you're always waking up, and that's what I find these 5 chapters to be.
Yeah.
Is like the continuous growth, and always having to reevaluate, like we said last time.
Right.
Yeah. How about for yourself? How has this impacted you?
Well, I take a little issue with the word fault, because I think
Yeah.
it has a lot of baggage attached to it, like we were talking about last time, our preconceived notions about words. I read it as fault because that's the way it's written. But what I think in my head is responsibility.
Yes.
And I think that takes some of the onus off of it. So I say, I'm not responsible if I don't know. Those are the first 2 chapters. I'm just not knowing. So I say I'm not responsible, but you know what? I'm just as responsible when I don't know as when I do know at some level. Because I'm responsible to know at some point. Even if I don't take that choice.
Okay.
Right? But the 3rd, 4th, and 5th chapters, you're taking full responsibility for it.
Yes.
I'm taking responsibility. I've fallen in out of habit, but now I know that habit. I can see it fast. And that's what happens in meditation. We talk in meditation about if your mind wanders 1,000 times, to bring it back 1,001. So that's that same thing. It's falling into the hole 1,000 times, and the 1,001st is when you walk around the hole. You can do other things in the interim. But the thing is that we're going to repeat that. And I think it's important for us to realize that when we fall into the hole, not to say, oh, damn, I fell into the hole again, but to say, here I am in the hole. How do I get out?
Yeah.
Right? And in meditation, it's the same thing. We'll lose our focus and concentration. When we first start, we'll lose it a lot, and we'll lose it for most of the time we're meditating. And then the next time you do it, you lose it for a little less time, and the next time a little less time. It's always a little less time. It's rarely no time.
Yeah.
It's rarely, I'm going to lose focus for no time at all during this 10-minute or hour sit or whatever it is. You're probably going to find you're going to lose some. But if in 10 minutes I lost my focus when I first sat down 40 times, the second time I might lose it 39.
Yeah, exactly.
And the next one 38, and the next one maybe 20.
Yeah.
And then I'll be back to 30 again.
Yeah.
So I know that that's going to be that way. Don't need to add an insult to it. Don't need to shit on myself. Oh, I shouldn't be doing
you
that.
shouldn't. Don't shit on yourself.
That's right. Don't shit on yourself.
It's like if having 99 problems is a problem, well, you have 100 problems.
That's exactly correct. That's right. Well, that's the Buddha. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Everybody has these, and I don't know if I have the number right. What the Buddha quoted doesn't really matter, but the Buddha said that if you have everyone has 64 problems. When one problem resolves, another comes to take its place. But if having 64 problems is a problem, you have 65 problems.
Yes.
So whatever number you want to put in there. And that's really true. And that's not seeing your responsibility for something. As soon as you see your responsibility, it's the same problem, and then you get to solve it. Or not.
Or
You
not.
don't have to.
Exactly.
I think it's nice to solve a problem, but then there's a new one that's going to come in. I know that sometimes when I have difficulties in my life and they resolve, I sit and wonder, oh, damn, what's coming? Something's coming to take its place. But then I don't spend a lot of time in that because that's counterproductive.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thought comes in. There's that hole. I'm walking around it. I'm not going to fall in it, but I'm definitely looking at it and walking around it. I'm not walking down another street when I think that.
Yes. You're yeah. Yeah, I think of it like, you know, I always find myself to come back to the third chapter a lot. I think as I've been talking to you in our personal lives, I'm sure you've seen me hit the third chapter a bunch of times.
A few times.
But yeah, I mean, and it's funny. I've become more okay with it because it's like instead of being so upset that I've fallen in the hole, it's like, okay, well, time to get back, time to dive deeper into myself and to pull myself out of this hole, because sometimes when you're in that hole, the practices that you've used previously might not work anymore. So it's one of those things where I have to reevaluate and figure out what is working for me in that moment. So yeah, it's a wonderful journey of life right now.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
And I hope that you're continuing to smile even if you fall in the hole, because that's so important.
I was gonna say that is when you said you fall into the hole the second time, or how many times after, and you've have now the awareness, the responsibility. It's like, do you sit there in the hole and be pissed, or find a smile and get back out, right?
Smile and climb out.
It's tough though.
Yeah.
It is tough to find that smile at some point.
It's a practice.
It is a practice.
It's a habit. Let that become a habit. That's a good habit.
That is a good habit.
Falling into the hole is not such a good habit.
Yes.
Smiling is a really good habit.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been saying at work to just random people when they leave, enjoy the sun, and it's just a funny thing to say to others, because it kind of it's not like a test or anything, but it shows me who's present, because when I do say that, they're like, oh yeah, it's sunny outside, let's go outside and enjoy the sun. I feel like a lot of times people take the sun for granted and just take life for granted like that. Yes. And I try to spread the seed of just, hey, we're human beings, let's go out there and enjoy.
Yeah, we were talking about that last time about death, that we can examine death and become very afraid to live our lives, or we can examine death knowing that this will come. It is an absolute. Nobody gets out of this life alive.
Yeah.
But I can look at it and say, I'm not dead yet.
Yes.
And I am alive.
Yes.
So let me be grateful
Yes.
and joyful for the life. Is it comfortable always? No. Is it wonderful always? No. Are there things that are frightening? Yes.
Yes.
And I am alive to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Does my knee hurt? Yes. But you know what? I have a knee to hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Does my mouth hurt? Yes, I have a mouth to hurt.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that even feeling the pain of life, we have to say, well, we have bodies that have these amazing neurological systems, these amazing sense organs that see, that smell, that hear, that feel, all of that. I can't feel pleasure if I can't also feel pain.
Yes.
So it comes with the territory.
Yes.
I'm grateful for it, even if it's not comfortable. I don't know what the alternative is, but I know this one. And I'm happy to be staying here for a little while.
I just saw this video, and I think it was Bob Ross painting, and he said, without the darkness, without the shadows, we cannot experience the light.
Yeah.
And when we are in the darkness, that's when we look towards the light, because we know the light is coming.
Yeah.
And he was painting and putting in the shadows and all these things, and it showed his light coming in. That's if you have that, I don't even know if you would say belief, but I mean, I can only say it from understanding. Like for me, I've lost that. I lost a perspective of believing in something good will come. Mm-hmm. So that's when I was in the darkness. You always just think, oh, I'm going to be in the darkness for so long. And it might be for quite a while. But I feel like the moment I decided to become conscious again, to be aware of that darkness, is when the light really started coming in. Yeah. I think about the time I've experienced what I call an ego death. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was under plant medicine, psychedelic experience, and during that experience, I learned this message that had came through, which was love is the only way. And that was like one such a powerful experience to actually feel throughout my body, which was to know unconditional love in that moment. I may have forgotten it later, but in that moment I learned what it meant to actually love myself and to love others. And then during that experience, I almost went through a dying phase. And I no longer was afraid of death at that moment. I realized that love, carrying my life through love, I mean, what else is there to do? You know, I don't know.
It's a nice way to spend your life.
It is, right? Because we live in so much unhappiness, displeasure, that like, I don't know, I just look at it and I'm like, why can't I love more? Yeah. Why can't love? There's nothing wrong with loving more, right?
No, there isn't.
Right? Love, I think a lot of people...
Without strings attached.
Yeah. But is that even love then? Oh,
that is the love. That is, I think, the essence of love is without strings attached.
Oh, yeah, but if it's with strings attached, then it's not really love then.
I think that it's something else. Maybe in love.
Yeah.
But not love.
See, I think that's one of the things is you see or hear that, you know, love hurts or love is like not okay. Like you'll feel pain from love, but like I don't think that's really what love is then.
I agree with you. I don't think it is. I think that love always feels good.
Yes.
What feels bad is our fear.
Yes.
Of losing it.
Yes.
And that's part of attachment that they talk about in Buddhism, grasping attachment. I feel love. It feels wonderful. I don't want it to go.
Yeah.
I'm grasping onto it. I'm holding onto it tightly. It's going to go.
Yeah.
It has to. So it's not always easy to be in that moment of, I really love the way this feels, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't feel this way in the very next moment. Just this moment of it is fine. That's not always easy. That's equanimity, though, to do that. And equanimity is not an easy place to be.
Yeah.
An easy place to find. I've been thinking a lot about it. We have so much unhappiness in life and so much dissonance, especially now. This time is a very difficult time in the United States politically, and it can be very frightening. Nonetheless, I think it's essential for us to maintain a recognition of what we do have and not allow ourselves to be infected by what isn't the way we think it is. We've talked about this, about duality. There's so many dualities we have in our life, good and bad and right and wrong, left and right, all of that. I think that those are false dualities. I really do. I think that there's only one true duality. And the one true duality I think exists is our own personal lives and our big life. Our life as part of the bigger picture.
Bigger picture.
Right. I don't have much control at all over the bigger picture. I can vote, I can put my money where my mouth is and support places that I believe in. I can't do a whole lot more than that, write letters, sign petitions, that. But I have control over my own life. I have control over how I navigate my day, whether I fall into holes or walk around them or walk down different streets, see things differently. That's totally up to me, how I deal with that. And it's not always easy to live in those two conflicting realities. But I think that those are dualities that we have to live in.
Yeah.
All the rest is false, truly. In the 1800s, the Democrats were the Republicans and the Republicans were the Democrats. So how can you say, right? Which one is which one is evil, which one is good? It doesn't make any sense. Left, right, up, down. When I go into space, there is no up or down or left or right because it's all relative to something else. So how can that be a true duality?
Exactly.
But I do live my own life and I live in the big world.
Yes.
And I can navigate this one to keep me as comfortable and peaceful as possible.
Yes.
That's equanimity. This is my life. This is the way it is. I don't have to like it. I can't always change things. But with this practice, I get to see what I can change. Like you notice how you could change your mind. Maybe your pharmaceuticals help. My feeling, just knowing you for the years that I've known you, is that while those are beneficial to your understanding. I think that they give you more rapid understanding. I think that's all there anyway.
Yeah.
Chris. I really do. This just brings it to the fore.
I definitely feel that I've tried to gain wisdom after I've gotten some really amazing wisdom from these medicines, and I didn't get the wisdom that I thought I was gonna get. So it was like, here's the tools. You already have the tools.
Yeah.
Go do it. You know, like actually do it now. Like, what do you need me for now?
Yeah.
I've already given you everything that you need. Like, go do it. You know.
Yeah, you have it already.
Yeah. So it's a matter of just practicing it for real, like now, and yeah. It's
And like we talked about before, questioning the concept of the tools. You already have them. You want to make sure that you're clear on what you think you should be getting out of something. You said, I'm not getting the wisdom that I think I should be getting. Well, maybe you shouldn't be thinking about the wisdom that you're getting. Maybe you should just let it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So the question of, is this the wisdom I was supposed to get, is irrelevant.
Yeah, I think that
Does
was.
that make sense?
Yeah, I think it was also because like I wasn't really practicing how I would before some of these like personal ceremonies that I would have with myself. I would take a 6-week like no alcohol fast, or like do something where I would really try to cleanse my body and my spirit so that I can be more open to the wisdom that is shared. And I hadn't been doing that, but it's quite interesting because last year I did about 4 or 5 months no alcohol, and then I went off the loose end. After that, I was just drinking a lot. So
Made up for lost time.
Yeah, made up for lost time, and now I'm doing it again. And this is
Which part? The making up for lost time, or
no
the
no alcohol.
abstention?
Yeah, abstention from
Okay.
alcohol. So that was 30. I was doing 90 days. I mean, I work in a bar, so like I have had like a little test to see if the drink's good, but for the most part, I haven't even had anything more than a little drop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually really nice because it's a different perspective of why I'm doing it now. You know, when I first did it last year, I think it was just because I had this idea that I wanted to do it because I needed to become a better person. Like I was, not good. If I didn't drink, then I would become more connected to the universe. I'd be a better person to others. And then this year, I just realized I'm already a good person. So, like, just doing it is a choice,
Good. Oops.
Yeah.
Good. Yes.
Just doing that is now a choice. So,
Yeah.
and actually, I don't really feel like I want to start drinking alcohol again. But, yeah, I don't know.
You might. Who knows?
Yeah, we might. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I take that back because on the 5th of April, when I go see the Lakers, I'm definitely going to have a beer in celebration.
Enjoy it. Enjoy that.
Enjoy it, exactly.
That's right. You choose to have it and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's funny because like, I mean, I guess this is just off topic on a different subject, but the other time you told me that you have a martini here and there.
Yes, that's
and
correct.
I was thinking, you as the holy Avry you are, never drinks alcohol. And when you said that, it blew my mind. But then we started talking about like your Ayurvedic practice and how, your teacher, right, said that alcohol might not be bad for you, but you're stop drinking coffee.
Yeah, I
know?
haven't had coffee in 15 years.
Oh, crazy.
I know, I love coffee.
And that's something that it's funny. I've been drinking so much coffee since not drinking alcohol. I'm almost like, do I need to take a caffeine break?
You might.
I might.
Dangerous. Most things in moderation.
Most
I don't
things
think
in
are bad.
moderations.
And again, we were talking about this before. We've talked about this many, many times. Choice.
Yes.
When I have a martini, it's not because I need a martini or I need to escape from this moment. It's because I like the way I feel when I have a martini.
Yeah.
I like the way it tastes. I love lychee teenies and all kinds of martinis, dirty martinis, not sweet ones. But
Okay.
all of that sort of thing. I like it. It's a nice little high. It's done. It's temporary. I don't have anything to do. I make my choice. I don't have to function. I don't have to teach. I wouldn't drink before teaching. I don't smoke before. It's a choice. I want to escape a little bit from my head. I want that feeling. This is lovely.
Yes.
You go into the cold water, you get a wonderful feeling.
Yes.
I don't really see much difference in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It depends on your motivation and how you see yourself and whether or not you can say, I don't need this.
Yeah.
I'm choosing it because I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because not only alcohol I've been abstaining from, but nicotine and vapes. And I know that has been a really difficult thing for a lot of friends and a lot of younger generation right now. Just everyone's smoking nicotine and.
Oh, I think really. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because at one point when they did the nicotine ban, I realized, I was like, my body, my choice. Why are they taking this away from me? That's like my first initial reaction, which is a valid reaction to have. It's my body, my choice. Like, why should someone tell me I can't do what I want to do?
Well, there are some things that just societal.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I want to kill that person.
no.
It's not a
I
good
know,
idea.
but that was more so like it's my body, my choice to do with what I do with my
Yeah,
body.
Absolutely.
Right. And then I realized it's my body, my choice, and now I'm choosing not to smoke nicotine. And I have a lot of friends that want to quit, but I think one thing that has always helped me is the way you've described how you stopped smoking cigarettes and you just made the choice to stop.
Yeah. I just said, I didn't say I can't smoke.
Yes.
I have stopped smoking in, I'm thinking 34 years ago, something like that, 35 years ago. And I still don't say I can't smoke. I never say to myself I can't smoke. I look at someone who has a cigarette. You know what? If I wanted one, I could have one. But what I did was I changed the way I see myself. I think you're understanding this as well. One of the mantras that I picked up when I stopped smoking was, I am a non-smoker.
Yeah.
I do not smoke. And I saw myself not as an ex-smoker, because that means I'm always going to be attached
Yes.
to smoking. But I changed my idea. I'm a non-smoker. Wasn't a smoker. I was a non-smoker. I don't smoke. And I just haven't smoked for 35 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some friends who are like, oh, it's so hard for me to quit. And I'm like, yeah, it is really hard to quit. But you don't have to smoke tonight.
Right.
You know, if you choose to smoke tomorrow, go for it. That's all on you. That is cool. Whatever.
I can smoke
Hey,
anytime I want
exactly.
to. I can pick up a cigarette and smoke it. I just have chosen not to do it for 35 years.
Yes, exactly.
And that's simply my choice. And it makes it much easier because I'm not fighting against anything.
Yes.
And I see myself differently. But it's still there. It's available for me whenever I want to.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's been the case for me in nicotine. It's funny because that one is for sure like an addictive compound. So
yeah, and you have to go through the physical withdrawal from doing that. I had to go through. That's hard.
Yeah, and when I flew into Georgia, because I started at the beginning of the year. I went to Georgia, and I saw these smoke shops, and I was like, I just want to stop at one. And then they were like, no, Nick is on a vacation too. So I was like, okay. My dear friend Nick is going away for a little while.
Just for now. Just for this moment.
For as much as I choose to, you know.
But it is true. I will still sometimes see somebody smoking, and what goes to my head is, I wish I didn't care enough that I could smoke. But I do. I care enough that I say, you know what? I loved smoking. I truly loved smoking. I just don't do it. I don't really miss it sometimes.
Yeah.
I miss it, but less all the time. I figure another 35 years and I won't even think of it. Oh, God, please don't let me live that long.
Yeah. Wow. that would be a long time. Yeah.
But it is. It's a choice. It's absolutely a choice. Just like in meditation, it's all a choice. We forget that we have so many choices because we get caught in our habits.
Yeah.
And then we're not looking. We're so caught in our heads, we don't see the whole.
Yes.
And we fall in, and then, how can it be my fault? I was somewhere else. But you weren't.
Exactly.
You were right there at the edge of the hole, and you weren't looking.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's how it was like towards the last, 6 months of last year, just, kind of falling off the loose end and wanting to. I think there was a moment where I woke up, it was my day off, and I said, I can have a gin whatever, and it was like 10 a.m. and I thought, oh shit, I've never actually thought of this in my life. Wait, hold on, is this a problem right now? And then I think I had this thought of, I wonder when this actually becomes a problem to my health. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to take a break. I need to take a cleanse.
Yeah.
But I think even having that awareness was pretty damn lucky.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
You know.
Because you could have not thought about it and ordered the drink.
Or even thought about it and been like, fuck it anyways. Like, let's just do it.
Which we do. We say that a lot
which we do anyways.
To ourselves.
That's true.
But it's a matter of choice. Just the other day, my husband and I went out to a late breakfast at a Mexican restaurant that has great margaritas. And we're sitting there having breakfast, and I'm thinking, is it too early for a margarita? It was like 11 or something like that. I'm thinking, it's not really too early, but you know what? I don't really want a margarita.
Yeah, not yet.
It goes with Mexican food.
Yeah.
That's a habit, right? And we chose not to. We didn't have anything to drink. But I thought about it for a while, truly gave it consideration.
Yeah.
At 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and think, I could have a margarita. And I thought, it's early. I said, I've been up since 3. So it's really not that early for me. But it truly choice.
Yeah, and it's a choice. It's not even whatever you decided to choose at that point was just your choice. And I think
as long as it's a conscious
and
choice.
I think that's the aspect of it that that makes it really cool is to be conscious of it rather than letting it become a habit. So even if it's been a habit for a long time, so all my friends who smoke and who really want to stop, like it's a choice just to do it for that 1 hour, that 1 minute not to do it. Make like we said in our very first episode, make these goals attainable, make it easy. If you just decide, okay, this 1 minute I'm not going to vape, well then if you want to do a minute and a second, exactly. You can do it.
The Wim Hof uses that technique too, just 5 more seconds.
Yeah, if you can, and then you decide to smoke after that, okay, that's it. You decided to smoke. Now you get another opportunity the next time. Do you want to do it in a minute again? Okay, do it.
But make it a conscious choice, a conscious choice. Being responsible for the actions, being responsible for your actions, that I am the heir to my karmic actions.
Yes.
I'm responsible for it. If I'm going to keep smoking cigarettes, I am responsible for the fact if I get lung cancer, that's my responsibility.
Yeah.
I made those choices every cigarette I smoked.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if you take responsibility for it.
As long as you have that conscious awareness that you're making the choice to do it, it helps you break out of that habit because now you can make the choice to not do it.
Right.
Right.
And that's what we need to do with our actions and with our words to choose our words carefully.
Yes.
And you know that in my meditation classes, I give you guys homework and I give you words to think about because I want you to be conscious of the words you use as well as the actions that you take. We're all very connected as humans, and we share an awful lot of qualities, even in different parts of the world. And yet, we're all very individual. And the way that we interpret words can be very personal, because they all come through the filters of our experience. I think that whatever the words are that we use, we want to make sure that they are what we are trying to say. And if anybody wants to question us about that word, well, what did you mean by the word fault in that poem, for example, from Autobiography in 5 chapters? I like to think of the word responsibility instead. So if I were to write that, I would use the word responsibility because I think it's clearer to what I'm trying to say. I nonetheless listen to this person's poem and see that they use the word fault, and I work to understand what they're trying to say about it. Even if in my own head, I'm saying responsibility every time I say fault or read fault, I'm translating it into my words.
Yes.
I think it's really important for us to be clear. I think that we interpret other people's words way too much, and we make a lot of assumptions about what somebody says to us.
And then take it personally, too.
And then take it personally, exactly. Right, and it's not. Nothing is personal. Everything is impermanent, and when we forget that, we suffer.
Yes.
Anicca, dukkha, anatta, the 3 marks of existence in Buddhism.
Yeah.
Impermanent, suffering, and impersonal.
Yes. Yeah, I'm learning to not take things as personal too, because I think that has helped me be a little bit more joyful of life too. It's like
most of the time, something is not personal. When somebody is yelling at you, who's the person who's yelling? You or the other one?
Mm.
The other one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is that your problem?
Mm-hmm.
They're the one who's angry. They're the one who's upset. So it's their issue. Even if they point at you. First of all, there's 3 fingers pointing back at them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really about them.
Yeah.
And they could point at you and use your name.
Mm.
But if they're the one who's upset, it's their issue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not yours. Now, maybe you did something or said something that triggered something for them.
Mm.
If you didn't mean it, you can explain that. If you meant it, well, you have to work on your own kindness, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
But you never know how somebody's going to respond to something that you say or do. So being as clear as you possibly can, I think, can avoid problems and can, if there is a problem, give you the opportunity to truly explain what you were saying. Because you know what you were saying, you were conscious of it.
Yes. I've been taking a lot more time to pause before talking to people so I can clearly explain what I mean.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes the conversation go a little longer, but hey, at least I'm trying my best to be a little clear.
People will get used to that. I think people get used to my rhythm of speech. I do my best not to insert tons of what I call verbal tics. You know, like, sorta, kinda, I mean,
see.
like. It's like, you know, like a kind of like sort of did that, and it was like, you know, fun. Did I say anything at all? No. So I think it's important for us to be clear about what we say and to not fill space with unnecessary sounds or words, because it's hard enough to understand what somebody else says through our own filters, let alone to have to sift through a bunch of meaningless crap.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that means there's some silence sometimes. Now, someone may jump in to your silent spaces. Oh, well. They may not be listening carefully if you haven't finished your sentence and you are just stopping to make sure you use the word you really want to use.
Yeah. Yes.
I like to wait. Always wait at least 2 breaths if somebody pauses in their speech to be sure that they're not just considering what they want to say. And I love it when somebody takes the time to consider. I'll give you all the time you need if you want to be clear.
Yes. Born different.
It works that way.
Yes, absolutely. Well, would you like to share a little meditation or anything?
I would love to. Are you uncomfortable?
Yeah, my legs are a little sore right now.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I would be delighted to do a meditation.
That'd be lovely.
Let's do another counting one. I think we did a counting on the first meditation. Maybe we did 1 to 4 or 6 or something like that. I can't remember. Okay, let's do some more breath counting then. Yes, thank you very much. What I think that we will do is, let's do 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6.
4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like that one?
Sure.
Okay. Let me explain quickly what I mean by 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 6. When I talk in meditations in numbers, we're doing something with the breath. The breath has 4 aspects to it. There's inhale, the retention at the top of the inhale, exhale, and the retention at the bottom of the exhale. So 4 aspects. We don't always work with all 4 aspects in our breath counting practices. This one only deals with 2 aspects, and when there are only 2, it's most likely inhale and exhale. So in this practice, since we're not focusing on any of the retentions, top or bottom, I'm going to invite you to allow those to occur when you're counting on your own, naturally, if they occur. If they don't occur, don't worry about it, but if they do, honor them. So 4-4 means that we're going to inhale for the count of 4 and exhale for the count of 4. And 4-5, 4-6, the inhale is always going to be 4 in this practice, but we're going to sequentially increase the exhales.
Okay.
So I'll get you started with some guided imagery. I'll do a couple of rounds of 4-4 with you. The speed that I go at is my suggestion. It's just what I do. You get to speed it up or slow it down. I just ask that in one full breath, the inhale and the exhale, whatever the beat is, for the inhale, it's the same beat for the exhale, 4, 5, or 6. The next breath could be faster, both aspects, or the breath after that could be slower. So when you do it on your own, you get to change the speed, but make sure that inhale and exhale have a similar pattern to them. Okay?
Okay.
Honor the pauses. Do the best you can. Make sure the belly is really working for the breath, especially on the 6-count exhale. The longer the exhale, the more you want to make sure that breath is coming nice and deep into the belly so you can control the exhale of it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions before we begin?
I do not.
Okay. Let us go. There we go. Let every bell sound remind you to take a deep breath through the nose, down the spine into the belly and pelvic floor. Exhaling out the nose, or out the top of the head, or out of every pore of the body. Take a couple of more breaths like that as you come into this moment, arrive right here, home in your breath. Take a moment to scan the body for tightness and holding, letting the eyes soften, fall back away from the eyelids. Let the jaw unclench, dropping like an elevator. Allow the tongue to release from the roof of the mouth. Experience it as either heavy, wanting to slide down the back of the throat, or light and floating in the mouth. Either way, non-attached to the roof. Let the shoulders be soft, the back effortlessly tall, and the belly soft and breathing, receptive. And we'll start breathing together, though we may not end with the same breath. Let's take a big inhale and exhale all the air out. Now inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. And for about a minute, continue this practice, inhaling 4 and exhaling 4. Whatever speed suits you. Allow both the breathing and the counting to hold equal weight in your consciousness. And you can continue inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 4. Or you can extend the exhale to 5 counts, inhaling 4 counts and exhaling for 5. And you can continue with 4-4 or 4-5, or you can move on to inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 6 counts. If you are familiar with Ujjayi breathing, that may be helpful to extend that exhale to 6 full counts. And for a little bit longer, pick one of the 3 patterns that you appreciated and practice that. 4-4, 4-5, or 4-6. And just one more, for a little bit longer. Continue with the pattern you just chose, but stop counting. Just feel the pattern in rhythm. Finish your pattern. Take a few breaths and let your eyes gently open. How was that?
It's lovely. I settled in at the 4-4. I went through all the 4-5, 4-6. At the end, I settled in with 4-4. Just felt the even pattern was nice today.
Nice.
So
that's not always your favorite.
no, no. I felt I liked the even pattern today, and that felt good.
And not counting, how was that?
Lovely as well. I was trying to keep the even pattern throughout the whole entire experience. So, yeah, I did the Ujjayi breath towards the end. But yeah, I found the 4-4 to be great today.
Excellent. So. Excellent. Yeah, even breathing. Any way we manipulate the breath, we manipulate our chemistry. And that's what this practice is. It's changing our chemistry. I'm sure we've all noticed that if we feel angry or sad or any emotion, even happy, we can feel it physically in the body. I'm hoping that at this point, after just a short practice, I don't know what we did, about 5 minutes or so, that you feel that physical change in your body as well. And if not, do it again. And of course, I encourage you to spend longer in each pattern or in just one of the patterns or in all the meditation. But again, 1 conscious breath a day is absolutely perfect. And you can do just 1-4 in and 1-4 out and you're done.
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
Change your chemistry. Better living through chemistry.
Yes. Yes.
And the occasional martini.
And the occasional martini. Absolutely. Well, yes. Well, thank you for your practice today and for sharing it to us and everyone here. Again, we welcome any questions, any comments. Just spreading the love and spreading the joy with these podcasts. It's been something that we've been talking about for quite a while. So to actually put this into action, it's really cool. So thank you. Thank you for everyone who is tuning in. We will catch you on another time. Peace and blessing and joys to everybody.
Keep breathing.
Keep breathing.
It's a good
keep
practice.
meditating. And we'll see you all soon.
Namaste.
Namaste. Sweet.